Chapter 12, Divorce and Chalitzah. Although the Jew regards marriage a divine institution, and hence one to be maintained throughout the husband and wife's life, he favors discontinuance of the marriage state under certain well-defined and reasonable conditions. Now, in the New Testament, the allowance of divorce is lifted. Well, I mean, the claim is that no more divorce is allowed. I don't know if you'd call it New Testament, but, the Christians call it the New Testament. It has Jesus say, plerose, he's not, coming to restore the law, not... Anyways, we're talking about Judaism here. The Jewish divorce laws are based on the following passages from Deuteronomy 24, 1 through 2. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanliness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. According to the biblical passages just cited, the right of divorce was granted to the husband with no provision of the same right to the wife. In order to prevent the abuse of this privilege, the ketubah marriage contract was introduced, which stipulated dowry for the wife in case of her divorce. Well, since the days of Rabbeinu Gershom, a teacher of the 11th century of the Common Era, restrictions in the right of divorce were imposed also on the husband. At the present time, no divorce can take place according to Jewish law except upon common agreement of husband and wife. Nor is the right to sue for divorce any longer confined to the husband. The wife enjoys the same privilege to free herself from an unhappy union. A wife as well as a husband may sue for divorce on the ground of adultery, immorality, or loathsome disease. In addition to these reasons, a wife may sue for divorce on account of non-support or desertion. It may, however, be remembered that while a divorce is permitted, Jews, as a rule, seek to avoid legal separation between husband and wife. The shame attaching to divorce may be recognized in the well-known rabbinical statements. He who divorces his wife is hated before God is a noun and verb. God's altar sheds tears for him who divorces the wife of his youth. And we have a bill of divorce, and it looks like it may be particularly old. In passing, I'm not really going to investigate the language use of it too much to figure out what period it's from. It's probably not. Yeah, no, it's Middle Ages or something like that. The divorce is always conducted in the presence of the religious quorum of 10 men. Although originally it was conducted in the presence of 2 witnesses, it consists of the delivery of the bill of divorce, by the husband and wife. The bill, written in a mixture of Hebrew and Aramaic, reads as follows. On the day of the week, the day of the month, in the year of the creation of the world, according to the number we reckon here, the city, which is situated on the river and contains wells of water, I, son of, who stand this day in the city situated on the river and containing wells of water, do hereby consent with my own will, without force, free and unrestrained, to grant a bill of divorce to thee, my wife, daughter of, who hast been my wife from time past, and with this I free, release, and divorce thee, that thou mayest have control and power over thyself from now, and hereafter to be married to any man whom thou mayest choose, and no man shall hinder thee from this day forevermore. And thus thou art free for every man, and this shall be unto thee from me a bill of divorce, a letter of freedom, and a document of dismissal, according to the laws of Moses and Israel. The document is also signed by 2 witnesses. The laws governing the writing of the bill of divorce is found in the Shulchan Aruch, Ibn Hazar, 120 to 153, are of interest. We shall cite only a few of the more important. The bill of divorce must be written in 12 lines with durable ink on parchment prepared like that of the scrolls of the law. It must not be mutilated. It must be delivered to the wife in person, either by the husband or by an agent appointed for this purpose. It must not be written on Friday. It must be free from mistakes or repetitions. Before it is written, the writer must draw 13 lines across the parchment, 12 for the bill itself, and a 13th line divided into 2 halves for the signature of the 2 witnesses. Every letter must stand by itself, that is, must not be connected with others, nor must the letters of one line run into another line, either above or below. The witnesses and writer, husband and wife, must not be in any way related. The bill of divorce must be handed to the wife while it is day and not at night. An institution which is in vogue in many communities and reminds us of divorce proceedings is Chalitzah, the act of loosening. By means of it, the childless widow of a man is emancipated from the duty of marrying the dead man's eldest single brother. A marriage between childless widow and her husband's single brother is called yibam, from the Hebrew yibam, brother-in-law. Its English equivalent is laverate. The peculiar marriage called the laverate marriage, together with the form of emancipation from it, is based on the following biblical law from Deuteronomy 25, 5 through 10. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate of the elders and say, My husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of his city shall call him and speak unto him. And if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, So shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his brother's house. And his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that hath his shoe loosed. The object of the laverate marriage was not only, as shown in the biblical text quoted, to preserve the name of the dead husband, but also to keep the tribal portion of the dead husband in his tribe, as the brother became, according to the old Israelitish agrarian law, the heir of the dead man's property by marrying his wife. The ceremony attending the separation of all ties between the widow and the brother-in-law consists of the loosening of the brother-in-law's shoe by the widow, whereupon she spits out before him, saying, So shall it be done unto the man that will not build up his brother's house. 3 judges, for the most part the rabbi and the chief officers of the congregation, must attend the Chalitzah. These must be regarded neither to one another nor to any of the parties seeking the emancipation. During the ceremony, the religious quorum of 10 men is required. The Chalitzah dare not take place before 92 days after the death of the husband. 91 or 92 days is a quarter of the solar year. The widow is expected to fast on the day of her emancipation. The shoe is to be loosened, that is, on the right foot of the brother-in-law. During the entire ceremony, the judges are expected to sit, and the parties to the separation are obliged to stand. When the shoe is loosened, the brother-in-law must stand firm on the right foot and in no way assist the widow while she loosens the shoe with her right hand. And Enochian has 20, it has 92 governor names. But this also allows for a waiting period for the woman. She is not permitted to use the left hand. When the shoe is off, she throws it from her as far as possible. The widow then expectorates before the brother-in-law, and all persons present exclaim 3 times, "The barefooted." The brother-in-law returns the shoe to the judges, from whom he originally received it, and they say to him, "May God be gracious unto thee, that the daughters in Israel will never have to marry the brother of a dead husband, or receive Chalitzah from him. At the Chalitzah, a document is handed by the brother-in-law to the widow as a sign of cessation of all mutual obligations. Shulchan Aruch Eben Hazar 169. In order to prevent the brothers-in-law from abusing the Chalitzah by exacting large indemnity from the widows who often desire to be emancipated, brothers-in-law are obliged to sign a document, Shtar Chalitzah, on the day of a young couple's marriage, stipulating that they will give Chalitzah without the claim of a remuneration. In many communities, the ceremony has disappeared entirely. The Conference of American Rabbis, held in Philadelphia in 1869, and the one held at Augsburg in 1871, ruled the Chalitzah as unnecessary for Jews of the present time. Attention is also called to the fact that the religious ceremony of divorce has, by the Reformed Synagogue, been abrogated, and the civil divorce by it regarded sufficient to annul marriage. And I personally would not. Civil separation and marriage and divorce, you should meet the spiritual requirements.